Aloha, my name is Danielle Marie Bergen, and I am a sister, I'm an auntie, I am an author, I'm an advocate, and I'm a transgender woman. I think back to when I was younger, when I first knew that something was different about me. I was maybe 3 or 4 years old. I used to get in these discussions with my mother and tell her that I was a little girl. And I grew up in a Catholic household, and my mother would look at me exasperated at times and say, "Danny, I don't care what's in that little head of yours. You are a boy. God created you into being a boy, and that's the way it is." And I would get so upset, and I would say, "No, Mommy, God's trying to fool you and me. I'm really a little girl, and I'm going to grow up as a little girl. You'll see." So going to Catholic school and being immersed in the Catholic religion, I got a lot of good things from that. But one of the things that I also got were guilt and shame. And every time I thought about that I was a girl, or should be a girl, I got ashamed of who I was. And so I kept this with me my whole life. To help me get through all that, I drank a lot, starting in high school. And eventually, in my adult years, I became addicted to alcohol and then drugs. I even tried to move away from where I grew up in upstate New York to the island of Maui, where I live now for 37 years. But Danielle followed me. She was like a ghost. She always haunted me. She was right there. And the reason was I couldn't run away from myself, but I didn't know that. And it wasn't until I found recovery and a lot of good help from some good therapists that I had to realize that it was okay to embrace and to love who I was. I had no self-esteem and I hated myself. I began to love the person that I was, the male part of me and the female part of me. And at that point I realized it was okay to transition. It was always going to be okay to be me. So I even wrote a book about it after I transitioned in my mid-50s. And the reason I wrote the book is because some friends of mine suggested, you can help others with this book, Danielle. Whether they are transgender like yourself or whether you're just going to educate people about being transgender, you can help others. So here at first I thought when I transitioned I was just going to be like any other woman, but really I'm not like any other woman. I'm a transgender woman. I am trans and I embrace that. I embrace who I am now because I am different. But what I also know is that people need to learn about us. There's a big myth out there that anyone who's transgender is strange or weird or odd, or might be like a person that is just totally not with society. But that is a myth. Those of us who are transgender, those of us who are transsexual, are like anyone else. All we want is love and acceptance. And getting love and acceptance is not easy at times. Sometimes there's prejudice out there. I transitioned on a small island, so everyone knew that I was male, and then everyone knew that I was female. And a lot of people were okay with it, but there's some who aren't. But that's okay. The main thing is I'm okay with it. And if I can reach out through my public speaking, through my book, or through any kind of advocacy I can do for my transgender community to help others, or to educate others, and show them that being transgender is just like being you, then I've accomplished what I want to do. I have that passion. I'm part of the national transgender movement that's happening across this country, guaranteeing our civil rights. And I'm proud that I'm doing that. And I'm proud that I can say I am a transgender woman.